You don't usually wake up one day and think, people don't respect me. It's not that obvious. What you notice first is the tiredness. The kind that shows up after conversations that shouldn't have been draining. The kind that makes you replay moments in your head later, wondering why something felt off. Why a comment stayed with you longer than it should have. Why you felt smaller walking away than you did walking in. Most disrespect doesn't come as an insult. It comes as tone, as timing, as people taking liberties they wouldn't take with someone else. And because you're emotionally intelligent, because you're self-aware, because you understand nuance, you're often the one who absorbs it quietly. You explain instead of confronting. You soften instead of correcting. You let things slide because you can see the other person's perspective. That ability is a strength. But when it's unbalanced, it becomes exhausting. What drains you isn't the behavior itself. It's the internal negotiation you keep having with yourself. The moment where you wonder if you're being too sensitive, if it's worth addressing, if saying something will make things awkward. And slowly, without realizing it, you start abandoning your own center to keep everything smooth. The truth is, respect doesn't disappear all at once. It erodes when clarity does. When people sense that you're more concerned with harmony than with your own boundaries, they don't necessarily become cruel. They just become careless. One of the most stabilizing shifts you can make is understanding that you don't have to correct every instance of disrespect with words. Presence does more work than explanation ever will. When someone crosses a line and you immediately rush to fill the space, to justify yourself, to smooth it over, you're signaling urgency. And urgency gives away power. There's a different response available. One that doesn't escalate and doesn't collapse. It starts with allowing a moment to exist without fixing it. That pause isn't passive. It's deliberate. It lets your nervous system stay regulated while the other person becomes aware of what they just said or did. Most people are uncomfortable sitting with their own missteps when no one rescues them. Silence, when you're grounded inside it, creates reflection without confrontation. And the key is what's happening internally while you're quiet. Your body stays open. Your breath stays slow. You're not freezing or withdrawing. You're simply not reacting. That communicates self-respect in a way words can't. Another shift happens when you stop answering questions that don't deserve answers. A lot of subtle disrespect hides inside curiosity that feels entitled. Why did you choose that? Why aren't you available? Why are you doing it this way? And before you know it, you're explaining decisions that don't need defending. Every unnecessary explanation trains people to believe your life is open for evaluation. You don't need to be cold to change this. You just need to be complete. Short responses. Clear responses. Responses that don't trail off into justification. When you stop over-explaining, people feel the difference immediately. Not because you've become distant, but because you've become settled. There's no tension in your voice. No edge. Just certainty. And certainty doesn't argue. You may notice that some people push back when this happens. Not aggressively. Subtly. They ask again. They test. They try to pull you back into the old dynamic. This is where consistency matters more than intensity. You don't need to correct them. You just respond the same calm way again. Over time, the message becomes clear without being spoken. This is where the line is. Another important realization is that respect is tied closely to access. Who has access to your time? Who has access to your attention? Who has access to your emotional world? If someone consistently leaves you feeling drained, confused, or diminished, it's not always something to fix through conversation. Sometimes the adjustment is internal. You stop offering as much. You share less. You engage more selectively. Not as punishment, as discernment. You don't announce it. You don't make a show of it. You simply redirect your energy towards spaces where it's received properly. And what's interesting is how quickly your body responds to this change. You feel lighter. You feel less braced. You stop rehearsing conversations in advance. Distance, when chosen consciously, restores clarity. Another layer of this work involves slowing your responses down. Disrespect often relies on speed. A quick remark, a sudden tone shift, a moment meant to catch you off balance. When you respond immediately, you're operating from reflex. When you slow down, you regain choice. That pause gives your nervous system time to stay regulated. It allows you to decide whether engagement is even necessary. Not everything needs a response. And not every response needs words. Sometimes a calm look, a neutral expression, or a simple change of subject communicates more than a perfectly phrased statement. Restraint isn't weakness. It's control. And people feel the difference between someone who is holding back out of fear and someone who is choosing restraint because they're centered. Your physical presence matters here more than you might realize. When people feel disrespected, they often unconsciously shrink. Their shoulders round. Their voice lowers. Their eye contact breaks. The body begins apologizing before the mind catches up. Simply maintaining a grounded posture changes the interaction. You don't need to stare anyone down. You don't need to puff yourself up. You just stay where you are. Feet planted. Breath steady. Voice even. Your body communicates that you're not threatened, not rushed, and not seeking approval. That kind of presence recalibrates how people treat you. Over time, something deeper shifts. You stop measuring your worth through how smoothly interactions go. You stop feeling responsible for everyone else's comfort. You realize that being respected doesn't require being liked in every moment. And then there's the final adjustment, the one most people resist the longest. Letting go. When patterns repeat. When clarity has been offered through behavior. When respect doesn't improve. At some point, the most self-respecting move isn't another conversation. It's disengagement. Not dramatic. Not bitter. Just clean. You stop investing energy where it isn't returned. You stop hoping people will become someone they've shown you they're not ready to be. You don't close your heart. You protect it. This isn't about control over others. It's about alignment within yourself. When you stop chasing respect, it stops running away from you. When you stop explaining who you are, your presence does the explaining. The goal isn't to harden. It's to stabilize. To stay kind without being porous. To stay open without being unprotected. You don't need to change who you are to be respected. You just need to stop leaving yourself behind in moments that matter. Try one small shift. Not all of them. Just one. Notice how it feels in your body. Notice how the dynamic changes without effort. That calm you're feeling right now. That's your baseline when you're not negotiating your worth.